early in the week, I was talking to Kevin Suits, and I'm like, Nebraska, it's time, it's go time, right? We need to be thinking sweep. And Suits was very diplomatic, similar records, even though Nebraska's played the tougher schedule, and Nebraska has 5 conference wins. And Ravi was like, you can't be asking for 60% of the wins in one weekend. And I came back with, they need to dial in. The RPI gives them a little juice, up 8 spots. And Ravi is sweetening the pot. So if Nebraska sweeps Northwestern,
Mm.
um, I can't lose. I really can't lose any money. I would still be
You get
plus 20, and I could win $40 more. So he's going to
no,
give me
no.
two to
You can
one.
win $20 more.
Oh,
You
I
can go from
misheard you.
40 to 60, but if you lose, you go from 40 to 20. So you
So
won't owe me any money,
it's just a $20 bet then. That's not that fun.
right? But you don't owe me anything.
But see, odds are against me for Nebraska to to get 60% of their conference wins in one series. But I do think, Bruntz, that Nebraska will have a different sense of urgency. He was not very happy that I suggested that. Would you believe that to be the case?
That there's a different sense of urgency.
Yes.
I'd buy it. I mean, I think that my sense is that there's been frustration that when there's been kind of like an obvious inflection point of like, hey, momentum is starting now. Good baseball is going forward. It has not happened yet. Um, I would have thought that coming off that Oregon State series, that would have been a pretty good time to start. Get the ball rolling down the hill a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, this has to be it. I mean, the win on Tuesday wasn't pretty, but they got it done. And, we're on the good side of a Tuesday night game in a series that have typically gone the other way. So maybe that's a sign of times changing. They should have everybody back healthy this weekend, knock on wood, once probably the most awful flu bug is done running its course through the whole team. But no, I think this is a chance for Nebraska. Nebraska has a chance to sweep this weekend. I mean, I think you're starting to see good signs on the offense. And I think we've said it on here before, guys. Like, Nebraska's not going to win a lot of 3-2 games are not how Nebraska's going to win over the back half of this season. It's going to have to be like 9-5, 10-7. Like, you're going to have to score some runs. And it at least feels like you're trending in a positive way. I mean, Overbeek's finally hitting the ball. Butenbach is still hitting the ball. Sanderson's starting to hit. So, I think
Start to show some signs.
yeah, and I mean, you look at what's left on the schedule. I mean, you only play one more team with a winning conference record right now, so everybody that you're playing is right in your neighborhood. So why not? I don't. Can you make I would say sweep this weekend. That's where I would go.
Mm.
I guess so. To answer your question, why not? Is I feel like they've shown me who they've been. You
Yeah,
know,
no, that's fair. I mean, that's
to your point, they've had a lot of opportunities to be like, all right, it's go time, and like, oh, we got a little momentum, and like, I
yeah.
DB used the term desperation mode. I'm like, how is it just now that you're desperate? I mean, I don't know. That's where my pushback was. Like, I feel like they've just shown me that this is who they're going to be.
They're just an inconsistent bunch. I mean, that's certainly plausible too. I mean,
Maybe they get a little RPI boost too, right? You see that 8 spots in the RPI, which I know they pay close attention to. I mean, I could be a little injection, right? Like, not that you'd care, but like a good piece of meat.
well, they're up 13 points from they were up 13 after the Creighton series. You still got K-State on the docket. You still got Kansas on the docket. I mean, you're not going to get much help from the Big Ten now, but you can do some stuff in the midweeks to make that RPI look a little bit better. So that's there. But yeah, Ravi's point's correct. I mean, this is a maddeningly inconsistent team, and that's why I think you're just going to need the offense, I think, to kind of carry a little bit. It helps a ton that Tucker Timmerman's back. I mean, that's not to be overlooked in everything. I mean, the guy, 58 days after getting his face rearranged, comes out and gives you 2 really good more than 2 innings against a really good offense. I mean, that's not nothing.
Yeah, I think I get the RPI thing, and they're still in it. They've got an opportunity. I don't know if I've just got like Nebraska basketball PTSD, because we had the same talk with their net rankings and stuff, right? Where it's like, hey, they're kind of on a skid, but there's like the ranking, like the metrics still gave them a chance. I just, at a certain point, and I thought Nebraska had a better shot than Nebraska basketball had a better shot than Nebraska baseball does at this point. I'm having a hard time unless, you know, getting some guys back, getting over the flu bug, stuff like that. Like there's tangible things to tell me that they're going to turn it around. Like I just have maybe they can light switch this thing, but it seems pretty late in the game for it for me.
Yeah, I mean they've also done it before too, right? Like they've light switched it before, and it was largely the same group last year. I do think though, when you start talking at large, I mean they got to make it to Omaha first. Like I mean that's before we even talk RPI. I mean,
I think that's where the desperation comes in a little bit. Like you're up against it, you got to get to the tournament.
yeah. So there's that. I mean, it's even if they get on a run here, I mean, you're still going to be kind of it's going to be a really kind of weird looking resume, right? Like you're going to have a lot of wins over ranked opponents. You're going to have some stinkers in there too that aren't going to look, very good when you're held up against other teams. But I mean, that's the benefit of scheduling tough, right? Like if you schedule tough early in the season and you win some of those games, that has the potential to carry you for a while and at least keep you in the conversation longer than it probably should. So, that it's a gamble to a degree. I mean, Purdue went the complete other way and played nobody and looked great for the first month of the season, and now they're right back down there with Nebraska too. So, Nebraska chose their path and they were able to benefit from it because so far they've beaten those tough teams that are on their schedule.
Are you surprised to look up at the standings, especially after what the sentiment was after the series versus Iowa, to see them at 14-4 in the conference? Or you think are record related or schedule related?
Yeah, I think it's schedule related. I mean, I mean it's a good team. Like I don't, not to take anything away from Iowa at all. I mean, Obermueller on Friday night, I mean, there was a reason why major league teams were kind of salivating over him last year. I mean, the spin rate stuff on him is totally legit.
They're considerably behind Nebraska in the RPI.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the scheduling piece of it. And they've got Oregon State playing a random weekend in May in Des Moines. That's going to be a really big series for them to maybe kind of freshen it up a little bit. I know everybody's kind of got them as a last four in, but they're going to have to keep it rolling because I don't think in conference they have a ton of opportunities to really beef up their RPI. But that's a good team. I mean, they've handled their business in conference. They can hit. They've always been able to piece together a pretty decent weekend rotation. So, I think on Nebraska's part of it, there's probably a little bit of frustration from the way that Friday and Saturday played out, where you felt like you got an opportunity to maybe win that series, but you just didn't do it. So, not surprising to see them there, but I mean, they had a decent team last year too, but they came to the scheduling fork in the road, and last year they went difficult and didn't win any of those games, and that's how you get left at home whenever it's tournament time.
Bruntz, so if I'm doing my math and counting correctly here, they've got 5 Big Ten series left, so they're basically smack dab in the middle of their Big Ten schedule. What does it look like? I know DB is calling for a sweep this weekend, which I
just say you got to be thinking it.
Sure, yeah, and you probably need to get a couple over the course of these next 5. But what would be your goal? Is it like, hey, win 2 out of every 3? You basically flip the first half record to the second half record. You go 5-10, now you go 10-5. Like, what do you think should be the goal if the goal right now is just get to Omaha?
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal has to be you win every series and you potentially sweep at home. Like sweeps are hard. Like that there's that piece of it, but that's got to be the goal. I mean, you've got Northwestern coming in here who gave up 27 runs in the midweek to Northern Illinois. You've got Michigan coming in that, they've kind of been all over the place. They're the only team that's over 500 right now. And conference that Nebraska sees. I believe they're 8-7. And Minnesota, who's, struggling and, kind of had they're a weird team too, where like they've got a really good RPI because they beat Arizona State. They won a series at Arizona State. They've beaten some good teams early in the year. I think they beat Oregon State too. But I mean, those are the series that when you're at home and you have a chance to sweep, and you need to get that win on Sunday, and you're wearing the black caps and it's championship Sunday. You got to do it. And I think one of the storylines of the year is, Nebraska has just not gotten very good pitching on Saturdays and Sundays. I mean, it really is tough to win series if on Sunday you're having to bring in your relievers, or on Saturday you're bringing in those relievers before the fifth inning. It just is tough. And Timmerman coming back helps a lot there. But I mean, down the stretch, you need to get a little bit more depth into those starts from your non-Will Walsh guys.
Yeah, which is going to be interesting because you think you found your closer in Broderick. I think you know what you want to do on Fridays with Christo coming in with Walsh. Sunday does kind of seem to be the key if they can get that piece figured out.
Yeah, well, and I think that was the tough part of the Iowa series was, most of the guys that they would kind of bring in. I mean, they kind of have a schedule to who they bring in behind what guys. They like a little bit of a different look from what, the reliever from what the starter was doing. And, they had a number of their guys at home with the flu. I mean, Worthley wasn't there. Yasa wasn't there. I think Christo was back at the hotel on Sunday. So it's, that made it tough, but yeah, you've got to get a little bit more depth from those starts. And, I think if you can do that, even some of the freshmen, I mean, Blackowitz and Bender, I mean, they've had to lean on them a little bit more on weekends than I think they maybe wanted to, but those guys are starting to play and pitch pretty well in their own right. But yeah, I mean, it's just been tough to kind of line everything up right now. And we'll see if they can do it this weekend. They've got to do it this weekend.